A Huntingburg woman previously charged with animal neglect now faces the possibility of losing her property. More on that. Plus, we highlight 4th of July festivities taking place across our area, and Purdue Extension educator Jan Dugan is tonight's guest on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with the city of Huntingburg deciding to give a homeowner more time to get her property up to city standards despite calls for it to be demolished. This morning, the Huntingburg Board of Public Works opted to stay an order issued for demolition of the Mary Birch residence. The order for demolition was filed on June 11th in response to an inspection of the property that took place on May 29th. The inspection came about due to complaints from neighbors in the area about the home's condition. Huntingburg Code Enforcement Officer Steve Collett, Fire Chief Scott Patberg, Police Detective Christian Gogol, and Sean Warner with the DuBois County Health Department conducted the inspection. Collett says the inspection of the home in the 600 block of North Washington Street found it to be unlivable. Collett pointed to excessive amounts of trash and debris outside and clutter inside of the house as evidence supporting the demolition order. Now, Birch attended this morning's meeting. She told the board the mess at the home was largely due to ongoing renovations, including a new roof and work on the home's interior. She also vowed to get the work on the home done this time around, saying she intends to live in the house again. In spite of Birch's plea, the board was skeptical of her plans, pointing to a 5-page long list of code violations documented on her property since 1998. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner also pointed to past problems with getting inspections of Birch's property done as reason for skepticism. Board member Keith Souders actually motioned to have the home demolished immediately, but that motion was not seconded, which led to a motion by Spenner for the 30-day stay on the order. That stay was then approved by the board. Collett says although the board will get final say on the property's fate, that fate ultimately is in Birch's hands.
I guess anything's possible. Whether Miss Birch will do as she stated, that is entirely up to her. I think the board has been very fair in giving her that extension, and hopefully if she can bring it up to the codes of the city, I'm sure the city would work with her, but now it's up to her as to what can be done.
A final decision will be made at the board's next meeting, which is set for August 7th. Now, this marks the second time this year that the Birch property has drawn attention. Back in May, she was charged with 37 Class A misdemeanors for animal cruelty and a Class C infraction for harboring a non-immunized dog, after 37 dogs were found on her property in late April, 9 of which were deceased. The deceased dogs were removed from the property, and the rest were taken by the DuBois County Animal Control Team and the DuBois County Humane Society. A pair of accidents over the last couple of days along Interstate 64 near Ferdinand caused problems for folks driving the highway during the noon hour. At 12:15 yesterday afternoon, Ferdinand authorities were called to the westbound lanes of I-64 on the reported accident. A truck that was going westbound went up over the guardrail just past the Ferdinand exit ramp. Injuries were reported in this accident, and traffic was down to one lane in the westbound lanes while crews were on scene. Memorial Hospital EMS also assisted. Then a second accident in the westbound lanes occurred west of Ferdinand along I-64 today. Authorities were called at 12:15 this afternoon for that reported accident. State police say a woman was driving her SUV westbound along the highway when she became distracted by her dog. They say the vehicle left the roadway and then rolled over several times. Authorities say the woman was taken to the hospital for minor injuries, her SUV was a total loss, and I-64 was once again down to one lane westbound while the accident scene was being cleaned up. Indiana State Police, DuBois County Sheriff's deputies, the Ferdinand Fire Department, Memorial Hospital EMS, and a wrecker from Ubelors also assisted. An accident near Mount Pleasant claimed the life of a Perry County man yesterday morning. Just before 3:25 yesterday, Perry County Sheriff's deputies were called to an area along Oneida Road near State Road 66 on the reported single vehicle accident. Perry County deputies say 25-year-old Stephen Kellums left the roadway for an unknown reason and hit a pole before rolling several times. One report from the scene said that Kellums was thrown from the vehicle. Police say he was pronounced dead due to multiple injuries that he suffered in the accident. Sheriff's deputies say toxicology results are still pending and the investigation is ongoing. Well, several events are taking place across our viewing area this weekend in conjunction with the 4th of July. Today marked the beginning of the Otwell-Ruritan Club's annual 4th of July celebration. That event got underway at 4 o'clock this afternoon with the opening of the grounds, midway, and various rides. The Little Miss Firecracker Contest is also taking place this evening. That contest got underway at 6 o'clock in the air-conditioned Community Center gym. That contest was open to little ones between the ages of 5 and 7 years old. Admission is $3, and kids under the age of 6 get in free. The annual 4th of July parade in Otwell is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That parade will follow its usual path through town beginning at Otwell Elementary. Roger Davis is serving as the Grand Marshal for this year's parade. Now, other events taking place at Otwell will include go-kart racing, a baby contest, the firecracker tractor and truck pull, and fireworks. The celebration wraps up on Saturday with a demolition derby at 7 p.m. in the Tractor Pull Arena. Admission for that derby is $7 and pit passes are $3. Meanwhile, in Spencer County, the Abraham Lincoln Freedom Festival will be getting underway at noon Central Time tomorrow. That festival begins in Rockport with a parade. Food booths are set to be open all day, and fireworks will go off at 9 o'clock Central Time tomorrow evening. On a final note, here locally, the Du Bois County Bombers will be playing 3 games over this extended weekend. The games start at 7 o'clock both tonight and tomorrow night, and at 6 o'clock Sunday evening. 4th of July fireworks are set to follow tomorrow night's Bombers game. Davies Community Hospital is now set to offer health care services for area veterans. CEO David Bixler says area veterans can now come to DCH to get common tests and medical procedures done so long as they get a referral from a VA physician. Bixler says the new services will allow servicemen and women to get routine procedures like preventative health screenings done in a more timely fashion than in the past. Other services that the hospital will be offering for veterans will include sleep disorder studies, imaging services, general surgery, and orthopedics. Bixler says many veterans will be able to be scheduled for services in a matter of days rather than months as things stand at the VA. Area veterans will not have to pay any more to get services at DCH than they would at a VA hospital. Now, VA hospitals in Indianapolis, Marion, Illinois, and Louisville are all backing the service availability at DCH. Anyone with questions about the new services can call Bixler's office. That number is 812-254-8840. The Indiana Department of Transportation has told highway crews to suspend their road work during the 4th of July weekend to improve the flow of traffic. INDOT officials say the road work moratorium began at noon today and is set to run through Monday morning. Contractors have been told to pull back barrels and barricades to the safest extent possible, although some closures and restrictions will remain in place on larger projects that cannot be safely opened to traffic. Transportation Department officials are urging drivers to comply with speed limits, keep a safe distance from other vehicles, and to avoid driving aggressively. Indiana's application to expand its state-run health insurance package includes a proposal to use the program to help people find jobs. Along with expanding health coverage, the Pence administration wants to create what it calls Gateway to Work. People who enroll in the Healthy Indiana Plan would also be referred to state job training programs and the Indiana Career Connect job search service. Governor Pence says HIP was never intended as an entitlement. He says the new requirement is a chance to help people boost their incomes. Indiana's application says that studies indicate people with jobs are physically and mentally healthier. Pence says the state is prepared to work with the federal government on tweaks to the program. He's hoping to roll out the expanded program as early as possible in 2015 following federal approval. But he warns the expansion is contingent on the government approving continuation of the health savings accounts at the center of HIP since it was created. He says giving patients the financial incentive to make good health choices is critical to ensuring the program's success. Finally this evening, with the calendar having turned to July, state utility officials are reminding folks to use their water efficiently. The month of July is Smart Irrigation Month here in Indiana. The Office of Utility Consumer Counselor says this time of year is when water usage for residential and commercial lawn watering is at peak levels. Utility Consumer Counselor David Stipler says many consumers have started embracing new technology to make sure their irrigation systems work more efficiently and effectively. He says more than 30% of drinking water that's pumped by a utility goes towards irrigation and thus offers a great opportunity for consumers to save both water and money. The OUCC offers several ways for you to save water this month, and those include only water when needed, and know that there is such a thing as overwatering. Watering between 4 and 8 o'clock in the morning to minimize evaporation and maximize saturation, and focus on giving grass less frequent deep soakings to help the roots grow more deeply. Other tips the agency is offering include using water-efficient shower heads and faucet aerators, shutting off the faucet while brushing your teeth or shaving, and running dishwashers and washing machines only when you have a full load. To learn more, you can go to smartirrigationmonth.org or in.gov/OUCC. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Goopsell, and Inform with Jan Dugan. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.